Welcome everybody to Wednesday Women's Wine Time, where we get to connect, chat, and of course have a sneaky Wednesday wine. Who doesn't love a wine on a Wednesday? I am so grateful for my guest tonight. She has been just an inspiration over the years. I've known Paula for, gosh, at least, I was trying to work it out because I've known Cara for so long and trying to work out when I first met Paula, but it's been over 10 years. So I've watched her journey. I've heard lots about, the challenges and her journey. So I just could not think of a better guest for tonight. She's inspired me for many years, and I know she is going to be an incredible resource for people who are in business, particularly heart-centered women's businesses. So please join me in welcoming Paula Burgess. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. So nice to hear I'm an inspiration. I never would have thought of me being an inspiration to you. So I love it. When I started my business, I said I wanted to inspire people, and that's what I'm doing. You were the second person today to tell me I'm an inspiration. So there you go.
Really are. Take that one. You take that. You own that. Okay, Paula. So where do we begin?
Oh my goodness.
Do you want to tell me first? I thought we'd talk a little bit about, today and where you are and what you do. So then it can help bring a little bit more substance and understanding as to your story and what got you to this place.
Yep, sure. So where I am today is basically I work for myself from home. So what you see is what I look like every day with my headset on and, in front of the computer. Pretty much my space is in front of my computer. I'm a virtual assistant. So what that is basically I work with business owners, so sole business owners, generally in the allied health sector, and I'm their back-end office person. So, you walk into let's say a psychologist office and you see the receptionist who's doing all the admin, answering all the phones, all that sort of thing. That is what I do, just not in their office. So I have a team of 4 lovely girls. When I say girls, well, I will class all of us as girls. Obviously not just girls. We are ladies, women. Well, I'm not a lady, but anyway, I'm a woman. Far from a lady in the true sense of a lady. So all but one are mums, but that's only because the other one's 22 and she's not ready to be a mum just yet. So, I have an awesome team and just hiring for my 5th one now. So, that's basically where I'm at now.
So what kind of things do you provide? Because when I heard that you're a virtual assistant, I was kind of like, it's kind of like a new, like what is that? And how can that person help me in my business?
Yeah. So what a virtual assistant is a lot of people think of a virtual assistant as, your little chat boxes that pop up that Google have or Apple have or all of that, because they call them virtual assistants, basically. But a virtual assistant is basically like a receptionist or an administrative officer or bookkeeper, social media person, all that sort of person wrapped up into various roles that work for you virtually. So in our business, we do things like answer the phones for many of our clients. And we're making appointments, rescheduling, all that sort of thing. Doing all the back end office, so all their newsletters, invoices, following up payments, looking after their clients, anything that needs to be done, answering all emails. So anything customer service, I guess you would think that it requires people being looked after, we do that, and social media side of things. And I'm just actually starting to move my practice into having OBMs, which is a whole nother level of virtual assistants, and very exciting, and more what I feel I'm aligned to, which is an OBM is an online business manager. So that is basically working alongside a a practitioner, so anyone that owns a business. So if I had an online business manager, it'd be, I would work with that person, and they'd be like my second hand in business, and I would sit with them, and I'd make I'd set goals and tasks and everything, and we would achieve those goals together. And basically we would set the tasks in place, and then I would assign those tasks, or my OBM would, but me as an OBM would do it if I was working for someone else. We would work on those tasks, and I would assign them across the team. On whoever the team is, we would put the team together. If they needed to recruit more people, the OBM would recruit more people. So basically the business owner gets to do what they love and stay doing what they love, and they're not tied up in the back end side of things, which is where I really thrive. And then that brings me to working with business owners in that space and providing the support to them for growing the business that they want to grow around their life, basically. So that's all very exciting.
I love it. And it's certainly like, I can't wait till I can get to the point where I have a virtual assistant, because some of that stuff is so time consuming, and it prevents me from doing, like, being the creative genius. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not a, a genius or anything, but it means that I can spend more time on doing what I love and creating and, being authentically me.
Absolutely.
So I think what you're doing is just incredible. And I think it's such a huge thing for people who, there are so many people that I talk to that need this. You know what I mean? Because
absolutely.
I honestly, I spend probably at least one full day a week just on all the back end stuff.
Yep.
And it's not making me money.
That's right.
Do you know what I mean?
That's right. Yeah. And so many people are scared to take the leap to bring on somebody to help them. But I always say, and because I see it all the time, I've been doing this for almost 7 years now. I see it all the time where people are like, oh, I'm not really sure if I'm ready yet. I'm like, look, just make the leap, do it. Just pay me even for 2 hours, and you will see how much your business will just skyrocket from them, because your attention is being taken off the stuff you don't want to do, and it's and being put on what you do want to do, and then you will just fly with it. Giving it to us, we'll do it faster than you anyway. Well, the chances are we will, because you'll fluff about because you don't want to do it. So you fluff about with it and you procrastinate and you do every other thing but what you're supposed to be doing. Whereas if you just give it to the person who can do it better, then you could focus on what you do better, and your business will just well and truly succeed from that. And as I said, I see it all the time.
I can't, I really think I need to shift into that arena, particularly, when it comes to chasing up people and money, and sometimes that's uncomfortable, particularly for us women who are heart-centered and we just want to give our all. Sometimes I think it's better if we put it into the hands of somebody who's a third party. So that's interesting. I'm so glad you're on, because I knew a little bit about what you did, but the extent of what you're doing is just phenomenal, especially with the social media stuff and the chasing up the invoices and making the appointments.
Absolutely.
And so they can like get you for like even as little as 2 hours a week.
Yeah, absolutely. You can start as little as you want, and usually I say just start at 2 hours a week, and you'll see the difference. Or even start as little as getting a newsletter done. Like, I know I don't. If I'm doing a newsletter for someone else, I'm fine. But my own personal newsletter has been sitting in my tasks for probably about 3 weeks now, and I just keep changing the date because I don't do it. I just keep procrastinating and push it to the side. But if I do it for someone else, I'll just get it done. So even a newsletter, just doing that and getting that out, it makes a big difference as well.
Yeah, a huge difference. And there is a real importance on a newsletter and staying connected with your community regularly, because you don't own Facebook and you don't own your Instagram, but you own your email list and your newsletters. So that's something that I think so many of us in business need to really honor the value of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. I love hearing all about the different things that you do, but it wasn't always this way, was it, Paula? It's certainly been, as you said, a journey,
Mm-hmm.
getting here. So do you want to tell us a little bit about your story and
Yep.
how you managed to get to where you are today?
Yeah, sure. So basically, I started this business out of kind of a necessity, I guess. I'd always sort of played around with starting a business and done a lot of your Nutrimetics and well, I hadn't done Tupperware, but those sorts of businesses, and never really did much with them. But I always kind of knew in the back of my mind I wanted to be a business owner, and I grew up with my parents being business owners, so it was kind of in my blood already, and my sister was already doing it as well. And then when I had Jesse, my son, I was in financial planning, quite enjoyed financial planning, but he kind of had other ideas and decided that I didn't need to be in financial planning anymore, and really changed my mindset when he kind of was born. I just wanted to have a child, stay in my corporate job, and I was quite happy. And then I didn't realize how much motherhood would actually change me. I was just very ignorant, went, no, my life's still going to stay the same. Nothing's going to happen, change like we all do. Anyway, so I put him in daycare, and at about the age of 4, probably about from 3 onwards, we started to see some differences in him socially between, against the other kids. And at 4, we were actually called in to one of our millions of appointments with the daycare centres, and we were actually asked to remove him from the centre because he was getting too out of control. Wow. So that was a big hit for us. We'd done a lot over the last 18 months to try and get him socially up to speed. So effectively, he had been expelled from her daycare centre at the age of 4. So that changed everything for me. And I just went, if he's struggling with daycare, there's no way he's going to make it through school, because that's going to be tougher. So it was then that I went, okay, now's the time that I need to start looking at what I can do. So probably for about 6 months, I started working. 12 months, sorry. I was working full time, juggling his needs of different psychologists and dietitians and doing ridiculously crazy diets for him.
Had you had a diagnosis yet?
No, because there was he had ADHD, he has ADHD, and because there was ADHD in the family, we were looking at that. But there was also an ASD possibility as well, and then they were saying ODD, and then it was anxiety, and we couldn't really get any of the specialists to agree. So we were just sort of playing around with all of that and just trialing it, treating it for what it was, whatever the behaviour was coming. We did all the different diets, which we found some benefit from, which was great. We found another daycare centre that would take him on, and then I was, on top of all that, I was starting a business as well. So I decided that I was good in my financial planning, so I could actually just go and assist financial planners and write their plan. So that's known as a paraplanner. And so I just went out there and started basically trying to get paraplanning work. And then I built it up enough to leave my job. So around the same time he started school. And then that next year was pretty tough with him. He was being sent home every other day because he just wasn't, he just wasn't basically handling school, I guess. We'd seen 2 other different schools. One school flat out said, nope, they're not going to have him, straight out, because I was always honest with the schools and went, this is what this is what I'm looking for. I need to be honest with you to make sure you can handle him, basically. One school just went, nope, too much for us, we can't take him. The other school said they'd give him a go for a week, and so we did a week's trial. We lasted 3 hours, and they said, don't bring him back. And I was like, oh my God. And they said it in front of him. So that was a real impact for me. And then after that one, I just fell apart. I was like, I can't do this anymore. I just cannot manage anymore. So I started looking for support for myself. And I just couldn't find anything. And we're still going on trying to get diagnosis and doing all of this. But we were leaning on the side of ADHD. So anyway, I started my own little support group happening because there was really no support going from there. And that brought me into studying ADHD coaching. So I went on to study ADHD coaching and started sort of building a business around that as well as doing my VA work. But I just found it wasn't really for me. I kind of got to a point where I had done so much for Jesse and implemented so many things for him that I felt that when people were coming to me for help, they weren't the right people I needed to be working with because they didn't really want to help themselves. So I was like, no, you just, and this is the way I used to say it. I used to be quite blunt with my clients, and I still am. And I say, look, it's okay to sit in your shit for a while, just don't stay there.
Wow.
But I found a lot of these women wanted to stay there, and no matter what I did, they weren't prepared to do the work to get out of it. So I was like, this is not working for me. I can't sit in their shit all the time. I'm an empath, so I take way too much stuff on, and it was just too much for me. So then I went, I need to work with business owners, and because they're in the same mindset. And that's what I've moved to now. So now I work with business owners, or support business owners who have special needs kids, and are trying to juggle their business around their kids, and set the goals and just help them and their children grow to what they want to do. So that's me, I guess, not really in a nutshell, but where that's a bit of our journey. So yeah, it's been fun.
Oh, it's just would have been so full on because, when you have these kids, it's like you don't ever really think about or anticipate. And like you, I kind of thought that they'd fall into my life, not me fall into theirs.
Correct.
You know what I mean? I'm the adult here, but they tend to just change everything. And particularly to have a child that, that's high needs. Do you know what I mean? Like he needed the emotional support from you. He needed that stability. He needed you to be there. And that really took a toll on your career.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that would have been really tough. Yeah.
Yes, a lot of soul searching. I found meditation in that time. I've taught him meditation, and everybody says you can't teach ADHD kids meditation. That's a lie. You can. And he now does it himself. He's like, I need to self-regulate, Mum. I'm going into my room to meditate. And he's 11 years old, and he's been doing that for a few years now. So, it's a big journey that I've been on, and hence why I think I kind of went beyond some of the people that I was working with, and now I've changed that dynamic now, and I'm so happy. I was just thinking today as I was driving to pick Jesse up from school going, wow, I love my business. I really love my business, and last year I couldn't say that. So yeah, it's awesome.
It's been a real growth experience, not just for you personally, but on a business level too, because you started this this hasn't been a 1-year journey for you. This has been 7 years in this, and it's been that, I know that you've struggled with, do I move down the coaching? Do I keep doing what I'm doing? Like, I know that there's been that real struggle for you, and for you to get to this point is just, it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
But, it hasn't, I think what I'm trying to get at is it hasn't been easy, has it? To try.
No.
Almost like, we are able to morph. Like our businesses don't have to be one way and then that's it. And we have to stay there even though it doesn't feel comfortable.
Correct.
And I think you're the epitome of that. What advice would you have for people who are sort of in the position that you were, say, last year?
Yep. Well, I say, first of all, meditate. I'm one of my books. I've got a list of 12 books to write this year. So, well, not this year, but over the next 12 months. And one of them is about meditation. And I can honestly say meditation probably saved my life. Last year I was in such a mess, and I just finished the chapter for Trisha's book, Touched by Suicide. And one of my paragraphs in there was, last year I was having those same thoughts again, and it scared the pants off me. My business was failing. I had no money. I would go out and, friends were buying me coffee because I couldn't even afford a coffee, or hot chocolate for me. But I would just say, firstly, meditate, believe that it can happen. Now I'm gone from, I was just saying to some of you ladies when we first came on, I've signed up 5 new clients in the last 2.5 weeks. So, you know, you can go from having nothing coming in the door. And that's honestly, I can say that's the mindset I was in. I was just in this, nothing's working for me. This is not working. You know, I'm depressed. No, I've got no money. I was really super focused on all of that. And no matter how much I was trying to get out of that, it just wasn't working for me. And so I just went back to basics and just started meditating. And that helped me be able to focus on just one step at a time, just go be grateful for if I got some money I wasn't expecting. If it was like $2 in, I'd be going, oh my God, I'm so grateful for this.
Yeah.
And just start from the very, very basics again. And now it's just happening. I've got a goal list on the wall that my whole team look at and they're like, wow, this is coming true. I've said, we have to get 6 new clients this financial year. Where 2 weeks into the financial year, we have 5 new clients. So I said to the girls, well, you know, that's what happens when you put it up and you get really specific about what you want. And they're like, holy shit.
I mean, that's, correct me if I'm wrong, but you didn't always have this many people working for you, did you?
No.
You had to scale it right back last year, didn't you?
Yeah, so I did. I actually had 7 girls, I think I had last year or the year before, and I had to scale back to 2. I think when I moved, because I'd moved into an office space, and just after I moved the office space, everything just went downhill.
Yeah.
And so I had to move, try and get out of my lease, which luckily I was able to. And when I moved back home, I think there was only 3 of us left. So myself and 2 other girls left. So yeah, it was a big change, and now we're sort of getting back up there again.
And now you've got 4, hopefully soon 5, plus
yes.
6.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, it's pretty exciting stuff. So yeah, but definitely a mindset is such a huge, powerful thing, you know. And I see it all the time. You know, I used to be called the Queen of Manifestation, and when I look at it and think, wow, I do, because I manifested that crap year last year.
Yeah.
You know, because I didn't feel worthy of it. You know, I was doing so well. I managed to get myself a dream car. I had money in the bank. I had investments in the bank, all of this. And I'm like, you know, I just was like, I don't deserve any of this. And so they took it all away from me. And I, you know, aside from, luckily we didn't lose the house or cars, but, you know, we were very close to it. So we had to, now I'm starting all over again pretty much. So on that respect.
And building up again. But
building up again.
I know you've talked about the meditation, but was there any books that you could recommend to people to help with mindset, or what helped you with your mindset?
So I follow a lady called Denise Duffield-Thomas.
Yes, I love her.
Yeah. I've been following her for a few years now. I went back and I reread all of her books. When I said reread, I listened to all of her books. I actually went and saw her live when she was up here in Brisbane. And I was going to turn my air conditioner on because it's bloody cold. What else is there? Bye, Trish. And I just listened to all her podcasts, anything I could get around Denise to get me back in the money mindset that she talks about. I did that. Gabby Bernstein, I think is another one. Yeah. I read her book that is actually just up here, and I've reread it again, The Universe Has Your Back. So that's one.
Oh, is that good?
Yes, I actually had listened, funnily enough, I'd listened to it in a podcast, and then Cara bought it for me for Mother's Day or birthday as this physical book. So as you can see, I've gone through it again, and I've put all these notes in it, and I've just really inhaled it again when I was really sort of losing faith in the universe because I was asking for stuff, but it wasn't happening. And obviously I was asking for it incorrectly because I was in this wrong mindset. So definitely that. And I got into, which are really quite deep meditations by Dr. Joe Dispenza.
Love him.
They're full-on meditations, and it took me a while to get through them, but they're pretty much constant in my life now, those Joe Dispenza ones. Jesse's even done one with me, which is a bit freaky.
Where did you get those from?
From his website. You can download stuff from his website. They've actually got kids. He's done a kids meditation one as well, which I've purchased. Yep. And that's quite good. Jesse really likes that one. Yep. Yeah, you can get them. And I'm actually saving up to do his course. So he's got an online workshop. Yep. And I really want to do that. And I'd love to go and do one of his 3-day workshops, I think they are, when he comes here. So yeah, so there was a
goal list.
Yeah, definitely on the goal list. It is. I write it every day. I write on my goals every day. I'm attending his workshop. So yeah.
Oh wow, that's incredible how you have managed to completely transform in a year.
Yes.
You know, that's just phenomenal. What a story.
Wow. Yeah, it's amazing because, you know, this time last year I was looking going, you know, I'm going to have to get a job. And then COVID hit. Oh, my God. I was just starting to get up on top of things, you know, not on top of things, but starting to see things moving early this year. And COVID hit, and I remember walking into my parents' place and I was literally having this massive panic attack. Couldn't breathe, and I'm going to Mum, I can't do this again. I had lost a quarter of my clients within 2 hours. They were just gone. And because they were all having to close down. They didn't need us, obviously. And then I just went, shit, I can't do this again. I cannot mentally do this again. I will end up in hospital or I'll end up dead. And Dad's just like, sit down, take a breath. You're not the only one in this boat. Everybody else is in this boat as well. Just see what happens. And then JobKeeper came in, which saved our life. And now the business is thriving. And the good thing, which once I cleared my head and I knew my wages were going to be paid, I knew then that with everybody using everything virtually, that the virtual assistant business would open up once everybody was getting out of it, because they would be more comfortable with using things virtually. And that's exactly what's happened.
Yeah, well, for a lot of us, we were kind of forced into it, weren't we? Because many of us were afraid of a lot of this virtual stuff, that we were thrust into it. And now it's kind of like, oh, it's kind of nice, you know, it's particularly, I think, for me, being a mum and being home and, you know, having the kids, like my kids have only just gone back to school today, but it's been like really convenient. A lot of this stuff that's online.
Yeah, absolutely.
So tell me, where can people find you?
Yeah, so you can look on my website, which is beyondthemaze.com.au. I have a super cool free course on there at the moment, which is called Get Your Shit Together. And it's only it's a 3-week course. And they're only like 10-minute videos with a little workbook. So it's not huge. And it just goes through basically manifestation, setting goals, how you can use it all for whether you want to organize your kitchen or organize your life. So it's all just these different strategies on how you can actually set the plan to get your shit together. So get stuff organized that you want to get organized, whatever that may be. So it runs around all of that. So you can jump on beyondthemaze.com.au, or I've got Facebook page, which is Beyond the Maze. Instagram's Beyond the Maze. LinkedIn is Paula Burgess. I think it's Paula Burgess. Don't use LinkedIn that much. I should, but I don't.
And what's your number plates, Paula?
My number plates are the maze.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Do you do like certain, like when you engage new clients and that sort of thing, can you tailor a package to them? Or is it just certain things that are open and available to them?
No, we usually have a chat with a business owner first, just to see. I want to learn about the business first, to see what you're doing, what you're planning to do, you know, and then we can go, right, this is what we can do for you, and let's talk about how that we can make that work. You know, if people are just starting out, so they're only just sort of going like, you know, like you go, I really want someone, but I'm not there yet. We can go, look, let's just start with doing these things. We can fit that into 2 hours. Let's get that done. And then we can grow from there. So, you know, a lot of our clients, like more our psychologists and physiotherapists in that allied health sector, they start with us just answering their phones. And then once that's taken off them, they're like, woohoo, I've got all this extra time where I'm not answering phones or not returning calls and things like this. And they're like, what else can you do for me? So they, you know, once they sort of, and it's about letting go as well. Like a lot of people, your business is your baby, and we totally get that. And a lot of people struggle with being able to let it go. I know I did. So I'm not, the only person, and I get it. When I first hired my full-time employee, she's like, can you give me work? I'm like, yeah, but I'll do this quicker without training you, or I'll do it better or something. And she would just go, oh, just give it to me. And I'd give it to her, and she did it better than me anyway. So, now I'm aware of that, and I reassure people, once you let it go, you'll be okay, and you just start letting more and more go. And now my girls are just like, can you stop giving me stuff? Because I'm so used to letting it go. I love snowballing stuff.
Yeah. And Denise Duffield Thomas talks a lot about that, about outsourcing. And
yes.
I think one of the biggest things for me personally was getting a cleaner.
Yes.
It was like, oh my God, like I could never have a cleaner. Like I should be doing that. That's kind of my job. Like, I was working in the business part-time, and, the kids and everything. And I was like, no, that's my responsibility. I need to do that. There's no point wasting money. But then when she explained it, that it's actually taking you away from making money, and then you spending, 2 hours in your business is going to be far more beneficial to your business. You're going to bring in more income than you would be spending that 2 hours cleaning, let alone, all the procrastinating that, we do. I don't want to clean today. Oh, do I really?
Value is so much more than that too. Like I think the value in having a cleaner extends to your family.
Yeah, that's right.
And they're not having being disgruntled that you're doing it and someone else isn't.
Correct. I agree.
And everyone has different cleanliness values. What I think is dirty, someone else will think is clean. So I think there's so much. I love my cleaner.
Yeah. And it's like I say to people, like it saved our marriage because, Alex was working, really long hours, 6 days a week. And it was kind of like, I hated doing it. And especially, I've got 2 boys and 3 girls. It's like, they make such a mess that I was like, I don't want to have to clean up after everybody. I feel like you guys are just treating me like a slave. And my husband's like, it's the last thing I want to do on a Sunday. So it kind of like, it was worth it for us.
Yeah.
And I think that what you're talking about, I think many of us need to shift this mentality that we have to be doing it all.
Absolutely.
We have to, we've got to do the newsletter, and we've got to do our social media, and we've got to answer the phones. We've got to be on call all the time for our clients. And I've noticed this particularly with Alex in his business. It's like, he's always got to be on. He's always got to be alert. And I think, shifting that to somebody else is just, I think it's a huge weight off some people's shoulders.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what, while you're sitting there talking, I just thought, okay, universe, I'm listening. Because today I was literally sitting there going, I've only just brought my wage up to where it was before my business sort of started failing, which obviously it's not now. And I was like, okay, there's 2 things I want back. When I had to cut my wage, I had to lose my cleaner, and I had to stop getting my nails done. And now I love getting my nails done. And I was sitting here today and I was like, which one's coming back first? Now that I've put my wage back, I thought I really need to put the cleaner back before the nails. And I'm like, okay. And now you guys have just gone about cleaners. I'm like, right, okay, universe, that's what I need to do now. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm the same. I mean, I haven't, obviously with COVID, they couldn't do from the company that I went through, they were like, we can't do the clean. Yeah. And I haven't actually rehired them just yet because we're doing renovations. I don't have a floor, so there's no point.
No point.
No. But as soon as all this, the kitchen's put in and stuff, like it's number 1 on my list, like completely. Like I just cannot have enough praise for people like that because I hate doing it. I hate it.
Yep.
But I just want to like reiterate that I just thank you so much for what you've shared tonight, because I didn't know a lot of this stuff. I sort of thought virtual assistant, it'd be someone in India maybe answering a phone call or something like that. But the extent of what you're doing, I think, adds so much value to people's businesses and takes off a lot of the stress of owning your own business.
Yeah, definitely.
What, I just have one final question. What have you noticed have been some positive things that, you know, your clients have said about engaging your services? What are the top 3 that they've said has really helped them in their business?
Wow. It's given them time to focus on what they want to do or what they enjoy doing, definitely. It's taken the stress away from them. So, you know, just the other day, and I mean like a couple of days ago, I saw a post in a group where someone was looking for a VA or someone to answer the phones, and one of my clients actually jumped in there and they're like, oh wow, we've got this amazing place, we've gone through so many people and we've got this one and we're so happy with them and they've taken so much of our stress away and we don't have to worry about the phones now and they just take care of everything. And I was like, oh, that's so nice. And I was like, oh, thank you, glad you're happy with us. So that was nice. So yeah, it's mainly just, you know, taking away the pain points, and also, you know, I know like moving into this, you know, online business manager role, having someone to bounce ideas off, because there's so many sole business owners doing it by themselves. And I know when I first started, just finding that person to be able to go, hey, you know, what do you think of this? And now I've got, you know, my friend Deb, which some of you know, as my business bestie, and we go out quite frequently and bounce ideas off each other. But people don't have that option. So having that OBM is a person for that, where you sit down and you bounce ideas, you set those goals, and you make each other accountable for them. So it's around that as well.
Awesome. Awesome. Does anybody have any questions before I wrap up tonight?
I'm an open book. You can ask me anything from ADHD to business.
Paula, I came in late, so I missed the actual things that you do for small business owners.
Yep.
So like writing newsletters. Was it social media?
Social media, yep, and admin, answering phones. So basically anything that you would see a receptionist or administration person do in an office, we would generally do that. And invoicing and marketing. We're going to be starting a new thing for speakers, where we're going to start getting a list when obviously it all goes back. We're going to start getting a list of various places that people can speak. So then we can start helping people like Trish get bookings for their appointments and things like that. So and sending off, you know, speaker bios and things like that. So we'll start doing that soon as well.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
And chasing up money too, Marnie.
Yes.
So I was like, oh, that's the kind of.
I used to be a credit controller, which is like a softer form of debt collection, before I was a financial advisor. So I've been in the finance industry for quite some time.
Sounds like it, yeah.
Yeah.
That's one job that I'd hate to have to do.
Yeah. I honestly don't like doing it for my own business. And I literally just send an email, and if it has to go further than that, someone else in my team rings. Because I just feel that I have, and like most business owners, you have that relationship with your clients, and some people are funny about money, and when money comes into it, it changes that whole dynamic. So if you can get somebody else to do it and keep you sort of out of that picture, it will keep that relationship with your client then.
Then it takes the pressure off.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Thank you, Paul.
That's right.
I think you've done an amazing job.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't sleep, right? As I think Jess and I were talking last night, and she's like, oh, it's 8 o'clock, I'm tired. I'm like, tired? It's not 12 o'clock yet. Come on. Keep going.
Got plenty of time.
I have to remind myself when I'm working at like midnight or 1 o'clock that I can't send notifications on Facebook to people. And I tell my girls, we have an internal chat system, and I tell my girls, please turn it off, because if I'm thinking about something when I'm working on something at 11 and 12 o'clock at night, I will send it through. And if you don't turn it off, then your phone is going to go ping and wake you up. That is not on, that is on you. So they all do now. They turn it off because they all go to bed earlier than I do.
Wow. I mean, because it's, because you're enjoying it too, though,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah. It's a passion for you.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't really feel like work unless I've got a client that drives me crazy, which I have one of those. But but still, I do like the work, and yeah, it doesn't feel like work to me.
You're very good at it.
Mm.
Yeah, especially that managerial role too, I feel. And you moving into this OBM, I think, is just incredible. I think you've got so much to offer.
Yeah, thank you. And I tell you, once I made that decision, I have had 2 opportunities to speak to someone about an OBM. I've landed 1 OBM job, which is awesome, and 2 of my clients, I'm going to move them onto an OBM role as well. So it's just opened up so many doors for me, just making that decision, which I know is the right path now, because it's just happening.
Yeah, and you can see it, your energy and your passion, and it's like you're back.
Yes, absolutely. I feel like it. Like, I think I texted Deb a couple months ago and I'm back, baby. Like, let's go. What are we doing now?
Incredible. So just one final time before we go, just can you just repeat your website and then the get your shit together?
Yes. Yep. Yeah. So it's beyondthemaze.com.au, and you can when you jump on the website, you can just go to courses and you can see get your shit together and just sign up for that. What I might do is I might actually put a link for you in Jess's group, so you can sign up right there if you want to. And then I'm on the Maze on Facebook as well.
Awesome. Well, it's been a pleasure. I've learned so much tonight. Thank you so much for joining us.
That's all right. Thanks for having me. It's been great.
No worries. Well, that is Wednesday Women's Wine Time, ladies. And what a night it was. Incredible. So next week we have one of our previous guests returning. Yes, it's the beautiful Deb Bullions, and I've had a lot of people request some more, engaging content about spirituality, and Deb is a psychic medium. So she's going to jump on next week and have a chat to us about some more spiritual stuff. So that's going to be awesome, and it's double digits, which she's super excited about, 22. And for those of you that don't know, I will say it again, I've just moved into the readings spotlight, in particular life guidance readings. It's been 2 years in the making of trusting and, really feeling into that inner guidance system and being guided to this place. So I am offering those at a discounted rate at the moment. If you want to find out more, www.jesssermak.com. And huge news is the Love Yourself Deeper Challenge starts on Monday. So I'm getting all the content ready together this week whilst the renos are going on. So hopefully we don't have too much loud banging in the videos. But if you feel called to this, it's going to be an incredible challenge. Loving ourselves deeper, every single one of us need to do that. We need that self-belief, that self-worth. So join me for that challenge. It will be running for free for this first round for the pilot program. So I'd be honored if you would join us for that. Just head to the website to register. It's www.jesssermak.com/loveyourselfdeeperchallenge. Okay, until next week, take care, love, light, and blessings. Bye-bye.
See you later.
Bye.
Thanks, Paula.
Bye.
Yes.
Sam.
Bye.